Henry.
And welcome back to Business Hustle. Today we have a special guest in, which is Max. And Max, you have a very interesting story. I just heard a bit about it before we started the show. And I'm very interested to hear what you do. So give me your 30 seconds, 40 seconds of what you actually do as a business.
We're a recruitment consultancy specialising in delivering permanent solutions across Northern Ireland. A company called Black Fox Solutions and another company called Reactive Recruitment, who are in direct competition with each other and everyone else. We place people in engineering, IT, medical professions, sales, accountancy, finance, anything that's kind of a professional role, over about £25,000 plus. Anyone that's hard to find. So if a company's looking for a specialist type of person, they would use a recruitment consultancy.
Very good.
Okay.
Yeah. Bit of a headhunter then, Max, yeah?
That's the price side of it, but it's not. It's actually, when people say, "Oh, I'm a headhunter," you know what I mean?
Sounds
and it's
good,
not,
yeah.
especially guys.
You've got the name for it, Max the
I was just
headhunter.
about to say that, Max the headhunter, but it's really laborious, really hard work. You spend loads of time on the phone speaking to dozens and dozens of people daily who you may not need or speak to, but we kind of call them passive candidates.
Yeah.
So if I phone some guy up and I say, "Look, listen, we got this job. You're on 24 and a half, aren't you? This is 28. It's a half a mile closer to home. It's got better prospects. It's got good training on. I think you should look at it." And they'd be like, "Actually, do you know what? It would be something I'm interested in."
Very good.
Yeah.
And it's our job in the company. Well, I'll give you an example. See if you look at a radius of, say, 5 miles. If somebody works for a company in a specialist job, they're not going to want to work 15 miles away or whatever.
No.
So you have to work in a radius. And if you do work, say, 30, 40 miles away, and you do get the job, there's usually a chance you've always got to leave early because you want to beat the traffic. You've always got to get in late because you're late for something or the kid was ill or something like that.
Yeah.
So companies are like, we want the guy who's going to be able to get to work on time and stay on time. Someone who's going to bring something, someone who's got past experience, someone who's got the qualifications to do the job to a good level. So when we say this is what we want done, there's no training, there's no bedding in period. They come in, sit down and just do the job. And you go, well, okay, Northern Ireland's got 1.8 million people around that.
Yep.
Many people work for the civil service, almost half. Many people are self-employed, almost half of that again. Many people sort of works in engineering. If there's 1.8 million, there's probably 150,000 spread across the whole of the UK, all doing different types of engineering. So how can I find this one person with this one skill, this one background in this area who'll do this job for the price I want to pay?
Very good.
And it's really hard to do unless you have a sucker like me who's prepared to continually spend time on the phone, speaking to loads of people. So when you say, "Mate, I've got a headache," I say, "I've got the aspirin."
Very good.
And that's how we kind of get paid.
Yeah.
Oh, and here's the other thing as well. If we don't do it, if we don't do your job, you don't pay us a penny.
No, excellent.
So again, we can put 3, 4, sometimes a month's work in solidly, and even deliver. And if you just go, "Do you know what? We've changed our mind." Or do you say he's a Capricorn? Don't like Capricorns. We can, and we have to accept it. We have just
That's
to go,
tough, yeah.
"Do you know what? That's part and parcel of the job, and you don't pay us."
Wow. Yeah, the interesting thing, you said there, you started firing out statistics about Northern Ireland, about unemployment, and which is fantastic, because that's obviously you need to know those stats. Are you specifically Northern Ireland, or is it UK wide?
Deliberately Northern Ireland.
Very good.
And again, it's one of those things that's sort of like, see if you speak to anyone, like see what you guys do, you just kind of have to know what you're doing. So if I speak to you, I would imagine you'd speak intelligently about how this goes about and how it works, right? So it's the same as us.
Yeah.
Someone says to us, "Here's what we want, here's the problem that we have, can you solve it?" I've got to be able to speak intelligently about how we go about fixing it. So
Very
there's
good.
some guy in Aberdeen or some guy in Paris or some guy in London, and I'm trying to speak to a business in London about how I'm going to solve their problem. Well, there are thousands of businesses in London who do exactly what I do.
Yeah.
So they'll always have the heads up on me. So just stick, what's it, knit and stick to what you know.
Good. And the location,
big
you know.
into that.
And you'd mentioned you've got 2 offices.
Yeah, there's a company called Black Fox Solutions and a company called Reactive Recruitment. We set up Black Fox Solutions, right? Really small story, right? How do you get someone a website or a business name to remember? Well, make sure they can spell it and make sure it sounds okay.
Right.
So Black Fox, who can't spell black, who can't spell fox, right? Simple, wasn't it, right? And then we set that up. They said, "People, that's a really cool name. Where'd you come up with that name? It's a really cool name." And you go, "Do you know what? See if I tell you, you'll be less impressed. I'd rather just not tell you." And that, it's some weird sort of connection. And then with Reactive Recruitment, I kind of sort of went, and please don't, there's no comparison here, but like, Rolls Royce, RR.
Yeah.
Or I kind of wanted a business that was like, there's a word for it that I don't know.
Simile, is it?
Something like that, but it's kind of flows. But I wanted someone when they put in recruitment and they seen Reactive Recruitment, they know exactly what it does. So people can see Black Fox Solutions and sort of go, well, it's a company, but what does it do? And I wanted the Reactive to sort of go, bang, I know exactly what you do, pass or play. And that's why we come up with both companies and both names. We've got around 15 consultants based in each office. We cover engineering, all types. We cover IT, mostly development. We do medical, nurses and stuff in the private sector. We'll do
Excellent.
senior sales guys, senior accountancy guys, and finance guys. And anything professionally that comes at around £25,000 plus. Because anything below that, you know, like say for instance, if you needed some guy to come in 3 days a week just to help you out and carry stuff, well, if you put a wee note on Facebook, just does anybody have a nephew or niece who can come in, you get loads of responses.
Yeah.
So why use an agency if you can just get somebody yourself? So anybody who has to pay us a fee is because they want to find someone that they can't find themselves, I suppose.
That's good.
That's fantastic.
So one of our kind of big questions to anybody that we have on the show is, how did you actually fall into this business? How did this business kind of find you, or you find it?
It was a fluke. Seeing as a kid, right? Seeing how you can't really see, but I've got polio, so I can't walk. I have to use a full length caliper on my leg, and I've got to use crutches. And then, as we know, growing up as kids aren't the most friendliest thing about. Oh, what's wrong with you, mate? Is that right? Let me carry your books for you, right? Kids see it as a weakness and kick the shit out of you. So I had to develop really quickly good personnel.
But you done it in a very posh location as well, didn't you?
Ballymurphy in West Belfast. Oh yeah,
I can say that because I actually grew up in West Belfast, so I've got dibs on that one.
If you grew up in Ballymurphy in the 70s, the two things you knew, that when you heard the sirens run, and I couldn't run very fast, and how to throw stones, it's Saracens and Sixers. That was kind of the two pastimes you had. So getting back to the question, the developed sort of good and the personnel skills were you either sort of like had to talk your way out of getting beat up or make somebody laugh. You know, that type of thing. Self-defense mechanism.
Yeah.
So I'd moved over to London to try and get a job because I kind of felt with being disabled. Again, just a wee backstory. I went in with the polio, went in to have a load of operations done to my leg. And I ended up spending about 3 years in hospital, in between Musgrave Park Hospital, which is an orthopaedic hospital, and then Donald Hospital, which is a plastic surgery type hospital, because they'd screwed up so much and done so much damage to my leg, they had to like repair it with loads of skin grafts, which are awfully sore, man. They're really painful.
Even today?
They had to do, no, now it's kind of like saying, but they had to do bone grafts and stuff that I still get pain. They left loads of metal in my leg. But anyway, so when I got out of hospital, I'd missed most of my third year, fourth year, fifth year. School had no intention to get me back. I think they probably see me as a bit of a nightmare as a kid who was always off anyway with different ailments. And I just came up with this mad, like crazy idea: go to London, get a job. There's loads of jobs in London, right? And it's and it's only like sort of
what age were you?
18 and a half, something like that. And I'd saved up a couple of £100, and it was only a couple of £100. It was no more. And I remember, and I swear you go, this is not true, but it's true, right? I remember putting rolled up newspapers in my grip bag to fill it out a wee bit.
Make it look like yours.
Yeah, no clothes, right? And I landed over, and met these guys, a couple of guys from Belfast who were living in a place called Harsden. They said, yeah, you can room with us, split the rent.
Excellent.
Got off, got a job in a job centre, strangely, which was the hook for recruitment a bit later on. And it was weird because sort of, you think you're street smart growing up in West Belfast. You think you're sort of, bit of a geezer. And then you hit London at such a young age and you're just thick as shit. Right? You've no street smarts that you think you have, right? So you got to develop really quickly. And also, wee things like, see, getting a black bag of washing and going to the fucking laundry every Sunday to do your washing, and then fold it up. And I never had white shirts; I always had grey shirts.
It's a smart move.
I know, because always when you just put everything in together, don't you? Just to save your money. Then
They're all dyed.
Trying to get all the shops to get 20p for your dryer.
So start out white shirts.
So start out white, it all just turned dark grey, and then pale grey, then it started falling apart, and then rip. So I did that for a bit, and but I always kind of, I suppose part of the thing going to London always made me sort of think that I could do something, and really undeserved as well. There was nothing to back it up that I could say, be somebody, achieve something. But I always kind of had that premise that I wanted to be somebody who, did something, like you guys do something. You know what I mean? You talk to people in the bar and stuff, and it's probably quite interesting. People are sort of, your job sounds so much more interesting than mine. Yeah. And when I was working over there, I remember the job in the call centre. And I'd speak to people and go, I'm a such and such for the civil service. I'm a welfare officer for such and such. I'm a joiner, I'm a plumber, I'm an electrician. And they all could sort of say they do something, they've achieved something, they're a career. I go, what do you do? I go, I work in a call centre. And you go, what do you do? I go, I work in a call centre. What do you do in a call centre? Answer calls. That's what call centres do. So I wanted to do something, and I seen this ad, it was a wee tiny ad in the Evening Standard. RACCon required West End agency. And I looked at my CV and I went, CV looks crap, right? There's no qualifications on it here.
Yeah.
And I would try and lie and they start asking me questions about it. I'm not that good at spoofing. You know, I'll get caught out. I'll just waste my time. So I thought the best thing to do is phone the guy up and just blag. So I phoned him up and I go, hi, can I speak to Simon? Yeah, my name is Max Mack, and I'm just phoning up. See, you got a job. I'd be really interested to go down and talk to him down there tomorrow. Can I pop in and see him? He was like, no, sorry, I'm a very busy person. I'm a busy person, but I'm going to go down and see you. You know, just give me 5 minutes. Maybe in reception, if you're not there, I'll go. Don't worry about it. We're going to call in. And eventually he said, I'll see him.
Very good.
But and later on I found that he says to the girl next to me, he goes like, that guy just completely closed me. You know, he's really good. And it was just me trying my hardest to flag, really. But I didn't know he was the MD. And if he had says I'm the MD, I'd have probably bottled it. So, yeah, thanks very much, mister. And then sort of just put the phone down and went, oh, it's not for me. But he didn't. So I went in and give it my best pitch, but been really, you know, energetic. We've got loads of energy. I really want to do something. And I think they just liked the story of me coming over from Belfast, having the problems that I had.
Brilliant.
And I didn't. At the time, I just thought I was like, you know, just hustling here.
Yeah.
And he was like, no, it takes a lot of guts for someone to do that there and put yourself in that situation. Most people would have just packed up and given in and stuff. So they gave me a job. And then the problems really started because you go in and you meet these really posh, and they were all really well dressed. You know, like all young guys. They wore like Burberry and sort of aquascutum overcoats. They wear Hugo Boss suits and big £50 ties, which is back in 1984. 50 quid, a lot of money. It was still a lot of money.
Yeah.
But then it was like big dough. Go for a tie, 50 quid for a tie.
Yeah.
And I thought, shit, you know, I gotta match these guys. I gotta like, you know, like leveling up to what they're doing. And they'd come in and they'd have like the Telegraph and the Independent. There's me with the back page of the Sun, checking the scores. And I thought, well, no, but literally, you know, you sort of go, man, the golf here, working class, the thing. But they're all just spoofers. After a while, you worked out that sort of like
Well-dressed spoofers.
But that was part of the perception.
That's
You know what I mean? You'd come in, and these guys would be talking about. It was John Major was in government at the time. Shows how long ago that was. And they'd be talking about sort of like, you know, if Labour gets in, we're going to do this, going to do that. I remember sort of thinking, you know, really well educated. These type of subjects don't interest any of my mates, but these guys seem to be not only interested but really well versed.
Yeah.
But then after bed, I'd be picking the newspaper up and then realising that the bit they talked about this morning was the bit that they read about this morning, just almost word for word.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you go, well, these guys are just like chancellors, no, just like me.
Yeah.
They're just trying to like get ahead as much as they can. The benefit was that they had a middle class upbringing, so they were expected to do well. Their parents and their upbringing.
There was an expectation for them.
Then, you know, you do have to do well. You do have to be a good guy. You do have to get a good job and a career. And from it was always expected. But as the youngest of 7 kids, who were all on the dole, who didn't have jobs, had no expectations to get jobs, and very working class background, where the kind of just sort of says, right, look, listen, you know, whatever level you hit, kid, just stay there. That's it. We don't care. And I kind of felt, well, no, if I'm going to compete with these guys, only way, because they were all posh as well. That was the other thing. And posh people get ahead quicker than working class people, because if you sound posh, you sound intelligent.
You know what you're doing, yeah.
Yeah,
Again,
exactly.
it's perception, as you say.
Yeah, perception is reality. So I just worked out this was like, just work a wee bit harder than what they're doing. And even though they're like miles and miles in front of you, if you're kind of walking a wee bit faster, working a wee bit harder, you'll eventually catch them. And what happened was, and it was just really lucky, that there was a guy called Bill and Simon who both run the company. And they'd open offices in Bristol, then Birmingham, then Manchester, then Edinburgh, then along the M4 corridor. And then they pushed, we wanted offices in Europe. So they started up in, I think it was France, then Germany, then Amsterdam, then they opened in Belgium. The next thing, let's open more offices. And then they got this thing in and they said, so like, look, listen, see if you stick with us. We'll give you like a share thing of the business, which nobody believed. Everybody kind of just played it was like some bullshit to hook you in for a couple of years and not pay you. I mean, you know, you're earning like $100,000 a year, like in the late 90s, so you're earning good dough. So we're okay. And whatever happened, the route that I took, I went into the city where all the banks are, set up a brand new business, and while I was doing that, there was kind of, I was talking to you off camera a wee bit about it. You did some work for somebody about culture, culture of the business. Well, if you remember the Wolf of Wall Street or stuff like that, there,
Jordan
that's what it was
Belfort.
like. We were eating like chicken curry and chips at 9 o'clock in the morning, and then getting on the phone for 4 or 5 hours, like banging it like mad. And at 5:30, win or lose, hit the booze, going to the pub, and then coming in the next morning and doing the same again. Wow. And have you seen these motley crew of people coming into work with their Telegraph, and they're independent, and their lovely suits on, and their briefcases, and then see them like tucking into these big fry-ups of food, you know, like protein to get their day going, and then sort of going out at night into the pubs and have laugh. It was incredible. And when I'd been away, they kind of let that culture take over the message of the business. So phoning in late, coming in late, taking days off, not doing your work, having months where you didn't produce any revenue, all became very normal. And they tried a couple of people to kind of fix it. But as I'd mentioned earlier, when I'd come in, it was always like, work hard, always try and work a wee bit harder than the next guy. So if there is a problem, it's his problem, it's not your problem. Always try and get ahead of somebody. And I'd built up good reputation. So on a whim, they said, look, listen, this business is failing. And we need someone really strong to take over it. So they brought me over to take over it. And I worked for this guy who I still don't like, right? We have never get on, right? And
No names.
I'll give you a clue. He's related to royalty. And there was about 25 people all working, they're all senior people. And within a month, I sort of said, look, we got to get rid of everybody. They all think that they can't lose their jobs. They all think they're doing us a favour. Like the market's changed, that somebody else is taking over in the industry and we're on the back foot. And without me being here, you know, you guys would be screwed. Now, it's completely the wrong attitude. It's just, and they feel that they're running the business and telling us what to do.
Yeah.
I said, so when I say I want to sack them all, I don't want to sack them all, but I want them all to feel that they can't be sacked.
Yeah.
And lo and behold, within 9 months, I'd sacked them all. Because they just wouldn't buy in, or they'd kind of gone a wee bit too far down the rabbit hole to go back.
They became too corporate.
Yeah, they reskill themselves again. And they're all, but the amount of energy they'd spend trying to get a day off or get no excuse to do something. I remember this one guy, and he's a really posh guy, and he's like, Max, how I got this meeting in Twickenham. It's at 3:30. I'll be finished about 4:30, but by the time I get back to the office, it's going to be about 6 o'clock. Do you mind if I just go on home then, you know, after the meeting? And I went, no, it sounds perfectly feasible. And then he left, I went, he's a lamb bastard. He just wants a half day off. So I phoned up the company that he's supposed to be at. And I was like, listen, there's a favour. There's a guy from our offices there, seeing a guy called Henry. Can I have a word with him? She goes, who? And I said, she goes, nobody bad name here. And I went, okay, maybe it's a different part. So I phoned up again. Somebody else answered the phone. And I went, hi, I'm phoning up for this guy. And I could hear the woman who answered the phone. She goes, is that Paddy prick on the phone again? Right? And I went, fuck. And she goes, tell him, I already told him he's not here. So I hung up. And the next day the guy came in and I went, oh man, how are you going to listen? He goes, amazing, really good meeting. I said, went to a pub, you wouldn't believe it. Took us this big Irish pub. I was thinking of you so much. There's loads of parties. There's loads of parties in the pub, you know. A really good car. We had 5 or 6 pints. Unfortunately, there's no business there at the minute, but he said in 6, 7 months' time, they'll definitely use again. I went, you're lying, little bastard. And I phoned the business yesterday. He goes, no, you didn't. I went, fucking did. Right?
Good called Paddy.
So I seen him go, hold on a second, and he went over, and he was doing this on the phone, and what he'd done, he'd phoned his mate, and said, look, listen, I'm going to put my boss on really quick. Say that you guys had a meeting yesterday, right? Say you're the guy, right? And he said, oh, Max, listen, here's the guy here. Guy says he'll tell you I was yesterday. I said, tell him to hang up, and I'll ring him straight back. And he goes, well, do you want me this number? I said, no, I've got the number on the system. I spoke to them yesterday. And he went, can I have a word? And then he resigned. He goes, look, listen, you got me. I'm going to resign. My heart's not in it. I need to leave. And it was that type of constant battle.
He was a talent.
And he just applied himself. That's what I mean. They spent so much time working up these stories, these
He
waffles.
was very creative in his line, and he should have been a lot more creative in his productivity.
If he applied the same amount of bullshit to his work than he did to bullshit, he'd have been a millionaire. But at the same time with that, the guy who was telling you about was always trying to pick me up and stuff. How come this is happening? How come this is happening? That was supposed to happen, didn't happen. And I went, mate, you brought me over to change everything. Yeah. Of course it's going wrong because they're not doing their job. That's why they've got warnings, written warnings. That's why we're trying to factor them out of the business. And at the same time, I worked with a guy who's kind of my number 2, and I said, you know what we need? We need like a wee young couple of hungry guys who come in who want to do well, and they want to kind of get on. And we kind of met these wee guys from North London. We took them on board, and we made them sit completely different, or somewhere different in the office. And we moved all the old dinosaurs to this side of the office, and all the young guys in the city office. And have you ever tried to, we things like, if a call come in using a job seat, they'd be like, look at your mom, brown nose in the, brown noser. And I'd say that's a real negative attitude, and what they're trying to do is intimidate you, trying to bully you. So I'm not having that at all. And in the end, these wee young guys started doing really well. And then by the end of it, the older guys just knew it's not happening. I'm not prepared to change, so they all left. So I completely rechanged the business, brought it back up to be the most successful business in the group at that stage, because there was loads of other offices. And my stock was like really sort of flying. And then another problem office come up, so I kind of got this reputation as a bit of a troubleshooter. And it was ridiculous, man. It had gone from something like, at one stage, earning like £300,000 a week to bringing in 10 grand a week. Which 10 grand a week's still a lot, but from going from there
To
the
there,
whole way down,
yeah.
you know. And I suppose really the problem is, it was 94, 95, 96, which when the PC era was just coming in, if you remember that.
Yeah.
So everybody was switching over to PC, and it was just one of those perfect storm moments. You've got the key to supply all these top-notch talented people who are dealing with this new technology that we know nothing about, and we've got loads of money to try and get this technology on board, and we're happy to give it to you if you can introduce us to these things. And they just made so much money. They didn't know what. We interesting story later on. One of the guys who made the most money. You know, can I talk about Rolf Harris, who was caught with all those sexual things?
Yeah.
Well, just before it, he had paid Rolf Harris loads of money to do a family portrait.
Oh my goodness!
Did he get this massive family portrait? Like maybe it's like 15 foot tall, 8 foot wide, covering
Wow.
this big house that he owns. And he had it mounted in the main room above this big huge fireplace. And the next week, it was announced that Rolf Harris was passed up. So he had to pull it down, smash it up, and he threw it in the bin. Paid 100 grand for it.
I went in art school and all with him, so I did. He was actually a really good guy.
But I think, yeah, so getting back to saying, they just made so much money so early on, you know, and it set them up. So they gave me a sort of business, and I did the same thing again, same philosophy, just work a bit harder. Why are you here? What do you want to do? What's your goal? And there was this one guy, I'll give you his first name, his name was Gary, and I was told the first day to sack him, guy's going to give him a sack. When I spoke to him, he was like, yeah, you Max. And I went, have you got a stutter? And he's like, no. And it was just because he's nervous.
Nervous,
And
yeah.
he'd kind of been battered and beaten up and kind of, you know, just ignored whatever. His confidence was really low. And I was like, I'll tell you what I'll do, I'll give you 2 months. If you do everything I tell you in 2 months, I bet you're a different person. And then he just bought into it. And within 2
Yeah, you
months,
mentored him. Yeah.
within 2 months, he was back up again, doing deals left, right, and centre. The other guys in the office seen that the stuff that I was doing worked. I thought it was really good. That they weren't like the other guys. The counterculture hadn't really set in. They wanted to do well. They just hadn't had anybody drive them or show them how to do
Yeah,
it.
guide them.
Reset that business up. Then that got me a promotion to UK sales director. And then from there, I changed a lot of structural things around, which worked really well. Then they made me the operations director, which is kind of the MD. And then the company floated in the stock market. Everybody got different sort of levels of money in it. And then my missus, Sharon, how you doing? Was like, I want to go home. I want to go home.
Yeah.
You know, there's no reason for us to be here. We've got a lot of money. We can move home. And I was just like, okay, you know, my daughter, who, you know, I adore, was coming up to 11, and I was kind of like, well, it's the transition from little school to big school. It's probably a good age. So I made the decision, which was heart-wrenching because it had loads of mates.
Yeah.
Loads of really successful mates as well.
What age were you then, Max? So you left.
39,
39. So you were really away 21
21 years.
21 years.
21, 22 years, yeah, no, a long time.
You were
Yeah.
sold there
Yeah,
then?
yeah.
Wow.
Oh, yeah, man, it's sort of the flat cap, you know, leaves that Marvel
Wow.
Brian, you know what I mean? So they really bought into the lifestyle stuff. My daughter, an English accent.
Yeah.
All her wee mates were all kind of English. But Charm was just like, no, come on, you know, mum and dad's getting older, let's move home and stuff. And I thought about, you know what, yeah, why not? Let's give it a go. You know, a new adventure.
And you came back to up Market Town, didn't you?
We were back to Dungannon. Which, if anybody's from Dungannon has ever watched this here, no, not against Dungannon, just people from Dungannon. No, I'm joking. No, just we moved back because my missus' family from a wee place called Bedburg, which I think you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you know how small it is,
Yeah.
insular. And what I suppose really said I found, there's a reason people live in small towns.
Yeah.
Because they're kind of, I don't want to say small-minded, but they don't have not much ambition. They just want to earn enough money to get them banned, get out on
Yeah.
a Saturday night at the local pub, and they play camogie or rugby or GAA weekends or stuff. And that's kind of what they do, you know, which is good. It's okay.
Yeah.
But because I'd been in London, moving back, and also, you know, remember 2008, the crash?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I
So
remember.
right
Yeah.
at the crash, we moved back, right, which was a nightmare because every day you're hearing like this bad shit in the news. The pound's dropping, this is dropping, that's dropping. All the shares I'd got from the business went right through the floor, right,
Yeah.
right down into like nothing at all, man. Thankfully they'll build up again, but that took away. So I'm sitting like, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? I didn't really know what to do, and I'd spoken to my missus and said, look, I'll just get a job. You know, I'm talented enough. I've done enough work. I've got a good enough reputation. I thought CV looks good enough. I deliver stuff, you know, so I'm good enough to get a job. And every fucking recruitment agency I spoke to went, nah, not interested, mate, not interested, mate. And it was almost like you were too experienced to make the job, you know. And I'd forgotten in London, I was working with maybe 300 consultants, 25, 30 people in management, 40 people back office functions. It was a big operation for the type of work we do. And the guy said to me, look, there's 8 of us, and 2 of us own it. So do you know what I mean? So we brought you in to do the work that we do. What would we do?
What would we do, yeah.
And then again, I thought, after speaking to him, I said, you know, they're not more intelligent than me. They're not more experienced than me. Set your own business up. And I thought, okay, so that's what's come up with Black Fox. I set Black Fox up. And I remember sort of thinking, I have no contacts at all. I don't know anybody. There's nobody can phone up and say, look, listen here, you couldn't introduce me to Henry. You
Seems
couldn't
like
introduce me to Christopher.
that's the big hurdle in your game.
So I thought, what do I know? And I went, Yellow Pages. So I was on Yellow Pages, and again, I don't even want to say this online, so much they blocked me 3 times because I was trying to get business names and companies. Because then you got to get the business name. You got to phone up and you got to say, listen, do you work in engineering? Do you work in retail? What is it you do? Do you hire staff? Do you use agencies? Would you consider using us? And then the other big hurdle that you had is no one's heard of you. If no one's heard of
That's
you,
right.
nobody wants to use you. Which sounds stupid to the layman. They go, well, what do you mean? Like, new business, you just phone up and you go, blah, blah, blah. And people go, yeah, we'll use you, and they use you. It just doesn't work like that. It takes time. So the first year and a half, I say year and a half because the first 6 months, the World Cup, come on, do you remember? So I just watched the World Cup for 2 months. I didn't want to, I wanted to work. As I said, every day I was going to go, right, come in, do some work, and then a match to be on.
Yeah.
And I'd be going home and have this mad headache. Because remember the Vavazulas? The B side.
South Africa, wasn't it?
Yeah, I'd be coming home with mad headache. They're going, I must be like, oh, gee, you must work really hard today. And I was going, yeah. I hadn't done anything. But I managed to get it on track.
Wasps.
And again, you know, slowly catchy monkey type thing. You start off small, you build your reputation, you build your database, you build your client base, you invest more in advertising, you look to take staff on board. You try and get like-minded people who, you know, because I always say, you know, there's 2 types of job, right? Only 2 types of job. There's people who make money, there's people who save money. And if you look at any job that anybody does, you're either that efficient at your job or that good and well organised that you save the company money, or you're that good at winning contracts, you're that good at bringing new business in and you make the company money, right? So it's a wee recruitment philosophy thing that people have. And I just couldn't get anybody with any buy-in. Everybody, you know, you'd be saying to a guy, you ambitious? Yeah. And you go, all right, so tell me about that there. What do you do? Where'd you live? You go, still live with my mum. You go, you're 35, aren't you? And they go, yeah. You married? You go, no, still live with my mum. And if you had a job, you'd earn money, what'd you do? You know, if I get enough money, buy a pair of jeans or a jumper or something, and get to the pub, brilliant. And you go, all right. So it was annoying me a bit that I couldn't get any traction. I couldn't, you know, and I was used to like sort of wearing nice suits and getting, you know, into the West End of London, Soho, and mixing with sort of like business type people. And you go into like Dungannon and Sainsbury's, there's a fucking tractor there. Some guy drove into Sainsbury's in a tractor to do his shopping. Do you know what I mean? It's kind of off-putting. So I thought, right, I'll set up a new business. I'll call it Reactive Recruitment. And there's this guy who I kind of knew in the industry who I thought would be looking for an opportunity. And so I got a contact and said, look, I'm thinking of setting up this new opportunity in Belfast. I want to set up this business. I'll do it. I want someone to come in to run it, someone who's going to manage it, someone who I can trust to do the job. And he was like, right, okay. I said, so do you fancy meeting up? And he went, yeah, I'll meet you this Sunday at 9 o'clock. I went, Sunday at 9 o'clock. Fuck, I never leave the house to Sunday, ever. I had like jammies on, TV's on, shut up, watching TV. I think 9 o'clock. And I went, all right, I want to talk to him. So I dressed, went to this hotel to meet him. He was about 15 minutes late. Told him the whole pitch, got him a coffee and everything, and he was like, nah, not interested. And I said, were you ever interested? And he was like, no. And I was like, then why didn't you just say that to me, prick? Instead of having me fucking
on a Sunday night.
On a Sunday,
Yeah.
on a Sunday, the God's day. Right, so really pissed off. And I think because I was annoyed as an afterthought, he sort of went, do you know a guy called Paul Armstrong? And I went, no. Do you know him? And he went, no. And I went, what are you trying to do here? And he goes, no, I just thought you'd mention he's good in the industry. So there's three miners going, name calling and stuff. And I went, why do you mention him? And then lucky enough, I tagged Paul on LinkedIn. Paul got back to me, we met up. We found out we had a lot of common interests. You know, we're big movie buffs. We're big into our football and stuff. And he's a family man, I'm a family man. We'd worked for years in recruitment, so we'd really good sort of rapport. I got just got on. And he had worked for a big recruiter in Belfast, and he did loads of local knowledge, loads of local information. So I just said, look, here's the pitch, here's what we can pay you for the first year. If you come on board, you're going to be director, you'll end up sort of like running both businesses, but it's going to be like a 5 to 8 year plan before we can like properly say we've established. And he just bought into it straight away. So within no time, me and him had been to IKEA, bought loads of chairs, desks and stuff. We got offices, moved in the offices. IT got fitted the computers, we had the phone system put in, and we were putting desks together. And on the third day, and it was really like him and one other person at heart. You could just feel the buzz was so different.
Yeah.
The buzz in the office was just completely different to what I was used to down in the beginning. So that's it, I'm shutting the business down, or I'm going to move it. So I spoke to some of the people down there. They took redundancy. And that week, I moved the whole business up to Belfast. So I had 2 businesses within 30 yards of each other. They were completely separate, which was brilliant because I could just go there, There's no getting taxis or having to find parking.
Yeah, okay.
But again, you got that buzz where you're in a city centre, where people, especially young people who want to do something and achieve something, you know, come in and have a bit of a purpose, which was something that when I was a kid, none of my mates had. None of my mates had this idea about, and I wished I had. I'd been like, going to go to university, I'm going to get drunk all the time, go to parties, I'm going to get myself a 2-2 of some description, I'm going to use that to try to get a job, I'm going to impress the guys in the job a wee bit, I'm going to kiss ass a bit, get a couple of promotions, learn what I need to do, set up my own business and be a millionaire. And none of my mates ever had that impression. They all just wanted a job of some description that paid them, but it was never a career, it was just a job. No. Their job fed their lifestyle, nothing else. But mine was the opposite. I always wanted a career. I always kind of wanted, remember earlier was saying, what do you do? I always wanted to be in that position where I could say something.
Why did you think, okay, here you grew up in Ballymurphy, you have obviously some things to work through in regards to the polio and stuff like that. Why did you think, did that come from your parents?
Issues.
As well.
Well, look, we'll let it go with that.
Comes with territory.
Where do you think you got it from? Was any of your parents?
No. My dad, God rest him, and everything, was as lazy as you could get. He hated working, loved drinking.
Possibly, was that maybe what drove you? Because my father was the same. My father was an alcoholic. Do you think that's what drove you to say, I want more than this?
I think sort of, if I'm really honest, it's probably got to have something to do. Like you said, you've obviously had issues to work through, and I jokingly said mental issues. But in some point, it's got to be like a mental thing, I think, to do with disability. Yeah. I think I must have had this thing growing up. Because remember, I was always trying to play football, or always trying to get involved with the other guys. You know, just being normal sort of geezer. Yeah. It must have been something like where you're kind of sort of going, I need to either validate myself or I need to prove myself.
Yeah.
Because even way back, I remember sort of like, if I was carrying something, someone says, let me do that, I'd be like, no, do it myself.
Yeah.
And
you were independent.
Yeah, extremely independent. Probably overly independent, I suppose. But I kind of felt that I needed to have that type of attitude to maybe get you or you to accept me more, or maybe you to respect me a little bit more.
Okay.
Maybe sort of some geezer who had like a bad leg, who just sits in the corner and who goes to bingo with his mad 36. But that was the fear. I'm sitting there and I'm going, man, if I don't get a job, if I don't do something here, I'm not going to get married. Because again, all the girls around my area want people who can fight like fuck, or who have a car. Right? I have neither. Can't do any of it. Or sort of like do something like sort of like the alpha male type thing. I just I always had this dreaded image that sort of like on a Friday night or Saturday night, my ma would be like, "Come on, Max, get your coat on," and me coming down with my new coat on, bought special, and me and her going to bingo.
So, Chris, this is our take from this. This is what drove this man's success. 36-year-old Maxwell's mother in the bingo hall in Royal Avenue.
And did you never take her then? No.
No. Thankfully, it's sort of things I look back to. I'm not really a religious person, but I do pray and sort of thank God for that. But don't know. It's sort of, and none of my family are in business. None of my family have had reasonable success and stuff. And even my extended family. And I'm the youngest of 7. So, I don't know, do the youngest in the family, are they more successful than the older ones? Or is there some...
I kind of see a trend like that, so do whenever I'm from a sizable family, and usually like the younger ones are the ones that kind of get a lot more attention, and they get pushed through school a bit more because they're the last hope.
That wasn't me. That wasn't me at all.
So
that wasn't me at all.
Just listening to your story there, Max, it's a class story actually, because we kind of just mesmerised listening there over the last couple of minutes. But if you were to normally whenever we have people on the show, we would ask them if you went back maybe 10 years or 15 or 20 years back to your younger self, maybe back in London, what would you do differently? I'm listening to your story and I'm thinking, flip, I'd be very happy with that lifestyle of where you came from, but I'm sure you still have something you go...
I probably, do you know what? It sounds really weird, but if it's something to tell me younger self, I'd say be more confident in yourself. You know, you're probably better than you think you are.
Yeah.
Again, coming from my background, working in that environment with these very confident, and again, you sort of work out at all fronts. You know, all the people I work with, I surpassed. I took over them. I got promoted faster over them. I earned more money over them. Most of them ended up working for me in some degree. But the very start was quite daunting because you'd sort of like, you know, and again, it was just perception's reality. They were all there. They were all there before me. They all had the upper hand. They all had the background, the university education. They're determined, their thought process, you know, sort of like, if they're earning 65 grand, you get up to 125. And I go, 125 grand? Man, are you nuts? And to me, I was like, all the money in the world. I go, Jesus Christ, Alan Sugar must have that much money. You know what I mean? Bill Gates. And I suppose, and again, they were just putting the front on. They were just probably bullshitting like I was. And if I'd probably been more determined or more confident in myself then, I'd have probably pushed more. I maybe got to where I was getting to.
Yeah.
A bit quicker.
But also maybe less hassle. But less sort of like conflict. You know, because again, people talk about it now, but you know, back in the day, everybody was still really anxious. You were still nervous about stuff. You were still, you know, with trepidation about doing things you didn't want to do. You're made to feel really uncomfortable at times. And there's nowhere near the political correctness now that there was then, and you should know yourselves. You know, man, it was fair game to everybody. You know, kill or be killed type of thing. So I suppose if I can reverse the question, what would I tell younger people now, 20 years younger than me? Don't look for excuses. Don't try and hide behind stuff, right? If people say you suffer, and I know people do have mental health issues and stuff, but there's different degrees. There's people who got, you know, medical sort of like, you just can't do this, you're not equipped with it. And there's people who'll have periods where they'll feel under stress, they'll feel under pressure. And I think it's a big comfort to know everybody has that to some degree. You know
Definitely,
what I mean?
I agree with you.
Everybody feels that way. They won't admit it. They won't say it, but they will. Right? And again, get off your phone. Stop listening to the bullshit on your phone. You seen that? Like, see them fucking pictures annoy me. The one with the dogs on the grave. The guy goes, "This dog, for the last 20 years." And you go, "No, it fucking hasn't." You're not walking, it's tired, it's just laid down. And then you put that bullshit in. Do you know what I mean? You hear this like crap that people come off with. But I think as a younger person, and you aren't more naive, you are, I'm not cynical or anything. I'm just sort of saying this.
You are cynical about a dog laying on a grave.
No, I love dogs.
I would get him.
I love dogs. But I mean, it's sort of, you know, really. Do you remember like Lassie? What was that Scottish dog, the wee dog? It was a true story.
Yes, something, oh, come on. That'll come to me.
That
Somebody
wee dog,
Google that.
That wee dog would go,
Yes, Brad.
that wee dog, and that's a good story. But then people milk it and sort of put in all this other, no crap.
Was it a Springer
And I
Spaniel?
suppose sort of, I always thought it was wee Westie.
No, I'm only joking. I'm a Springer Spaniel more.
Was it a poet or something? Edinburgh, the dog when he
Yeah,
died,
that's it.
sat in his grave for like 12 years or something. They even blue plaque the grave.
Oh, no, I watch every Christmas.
But what I mean is, it's sort of like if you try and spin it around, if I was kind of like sort of like anxious about something and to do something, you kind of, in a good way, you were kind of sort of made, choke it up, mate, just get on with it.
Yeah.
You know, probably not the best way to do it, but it kind of made you find within yourself to sort of do something and push yourself forward. I'm not sure now with the amount of images and messages sent through social media at the minute and the type of bullshit that sort of like people put through, and believe that all these other people look like that all the time, that they don't go to the toilet at all. Right, and they never eat anything, so they never put a pound on, and I don't wear. No, you see this woman whose like face looks like squared, and they go, "I don't wear makeup at all." And if you want to let me go, you do. Right? So you see stuff like this. I suppose I would flip it and sort of go, you know, believe in yourself a wee bit more. Don't believe the bullshit.
Yeah.
And as you know, as you get older, everything has an angle. Everything has an angle. So everything that is in social media, there's an angle to it. Someone's trying to, even if it's just to get you to like something, there's an angle to it. I don't really
They've got an
believe it as
agenda.
much.
Yeah, there's no doubt.
Got an agenda.
Okay, we're sitting at Black Fox and the other recruitment business.
Reactive recruitment.
What age are you now, if you mind me asking?
51.
51. What does a 55 50-year-old or 60-year-old Max look like?
He's definitely got a suntan,
Right, so
right? Because he's going to be near the Mediterranean somewhere. He's not going to moan or whinge anywhere near as much as his 51-year-old self.
no, you're still driven. You're still passionate.
No, I think, do you know what? See, to be fair, I'll be perfectly honest with you, right? A lot of it depends on disability.
Yeah.
Because I've got polio, right? So what happens is one of my legs is shorter and weaker than the other.
Mm-hmm.
So whenever I walk in a,
Compensate.
Yeah.
what would you like, cricket sort of way, right?
Yeah.
Which puts pressure on the hip and also puts pressure on the back. So I've got a permanently bad lower back where I've had damage done the part of the
The plates
spinal
or
sort
whatever
of
they're
thing,
called.
yeah.
Yeah.
I've got problems with my hip. So the 6-year-old Max Magan is very dependent upon how fit I keep myself, how well I look
Cool.
after myself.
Yeah.
Do you eat beetroot?
I love
I love
beetroot, yeah.
beetroot.
Nobody loves beetroot. I eat beetroot, but I don't love beetroot.
Yeah, I love beetroot.
I
do.
love like custard buns and I love cream
Delicious.
fingers.
Okay, so beetroot.
Beetroot, yeah. So you're saying sort of like at 60-year-old, I've got to eat like beetroot now. I'm eating sort of like lettuce, something called quinoa, which I didn't know was called.
Yeah.
It's not spelled quinoa.
Quinoa?
That's quinoa. What do you call it?
I'm not sure.
Kiwi?
Quinoa.
No, it's
Do you
the
know what I mean?
it's the
So,
grains.
Yeah, so I've got to eat all that stuff. And I'm trying to look after my health. I'm trying to sort of manage my weight. I'm trying to go out walking and stuff to try and build up a bit of muscle.
Cool.
So if I get to 60 and I'm still okay, I'll work.
Mm-hmm.
And if I have any more problems, I'll probably sort of start looking to retire, semi-retire.
Okay. Very good. Very good. So, I want to ask you a couple of questions, Max. If someone looking down the barrel of the camera, what would be your tips for someone starting out in business?
Top 3 tips?
Mm-hmm.
Top 3 tips, okay. If you're going to start out in business, make sure you got a good idea. And if it's a good idea, understand you're going to have competition. If you have the idea, other people have it. So you got a good idea. Make sure you look at your market. Make sure you kind of like look at your product and put guidelines in place of how quickly you need to establish your business. If it's going to be a product-based business, you got to sell something. So mark in periods where you want to do these types of sales so that you know you're getting money coming in for your business. Number 2, I'd say be brutally honest. You know, if people come up with these like ideas all the time and they don't work, you know, and if they don't work, there's no point sort of flogging a dead horse.
Yeah.
So set yourself a time frame and just be brave. Don't listen to other people. Don't let other people kind of misgauge or misinform you. But do seek out someone who's maybe doing a similar thing, maybe a bit of a mentor,
Yeah.
someone who can give you like honest advice. Some of the best advice you can get is the advice you don't want to hear. But if it is going well, brilliant. If it's not going well, then put your foot in the ball, end it, and look for a new idea. There are millions of people in business who've started off in bad ideas and found something 2 or 3 times into it.
Yeah.
And thirdly, if you're going to do it, work hard. You know, don't try and see it as a part-time business. Invest time into it, but don't kill yourself. Do something you're going to enjoy.
Yeah.
Do something you can have a bit of a laugh with. Do something that you can take an interest in, so that if you know if it's 8 o'clock at night and you're still in work, that you don't feel that you're sort of flogging a dead horse. Do something that you can sort of like enjoy doing. And when you do get the chance to take staff on, take like-minded staff on. You work with people more than you do anything else in your life. I'm in work maybe 9 hours a day. I go home for a few hours, then I go to bed and I sleep, and then I get up to come into work again. So if you break my day up, I'm in work more than I am anywhere else.
Yeah, that's right.
So I kind of want to enjoy myself.
Yeah.
So, you know, I love football, I love movies. So if I can hire people who love football, people who love talking about movies, a bit of fashion, then it gets my
So
day in a bit
important,
quicker and it's a
Yeah.
bit more interesting. And that's probably it, I suppose.
Yeah, very good. Over your, you've had obviously a number of successes over the years. What person or what thing has been the greatest influence to you, or a mentor for you? What has been one of the greatest things that, you know, has influenced you or mentored
Can
you?
see the influence thing? Can I use someone like Alex Ferguson?
Not a problem.
Right, I'll tell you a story about Alex Ferguson, okay, right? Alex Ferguson has talked to me when he was a manager of Manchester United nearly every day. Every weekend he influenced me, he encouraged me to do well through what the team did. And when he retired, when he announced his retirement, it's a bit of a weird story, right, but it's true. I had an aunt in Birmingham who died on the day of his retirement. But I hadn't seen her in about 20 years. And when Alex Ferguson announced he's retired, it was the same day that my Aunt Mary, my sister, oh, by the way, my Aunt Mary's just passed away and stuff. And I remember having this sort of like pain in my chest. I was going like, I hadn't seen her in 20 years. and I'm like, it's affected me. I feel like really like. And it wasn't her at all. It was Alex Ferguson retiring. It's sort of like, it really like, it mostly upset me, like genuinely. For about a week, I was going to bad mood and everything, and just snapping at my missus. And it was because for 26 years, this guy had advised me, guided me. And again, people think it's funny, if you look at someone who's like so driven, somebody who was like a toolmaker, who played, you know, mediocre type football for some, but went on to have probably the most, in sport, probably the most successful career in any sport, I suppose. So being a Manchester United fan, I always look at him, and you always wonder, like, sort of what got him out of bed every morning?
Yeah,
like, why did he need to? Like, he must have had more money than his family will ever need.
Yeah, that's right.
He had more success. He could pick the phone up probably and talk to anybody in the world. Like, everybody would take a call from him. But yet, he continually challenged himself. And I kind of like that type of thing, that reinvention, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Is that okay?
No, that's absolutely fantastic.
Well, my big question I love to ask people is to go back somewhere and tell me like one really embarrassing moment in business that you kind of like, you made a balls up basically, where you've done something and you went, oh my goodness, I've wrecked it. I love hearing stuff like that. Because kind of for me, it lets me find out that people, like what you've been saying all the whole way through this, is that we kind of make up as we go along. We're all as kind of messed up as everybody else.
Do you know what I did one time? When I was over in London, before my daughter was born, stuff, I was in recruitment, and I mentioned earlier with all that Wolf of Wall Street stuff. So we're at this kind of awards thing, and it did like comics from TV. They were the presenters and stuff. So it was a big deal. And we're in this big, huge sort of like auditorium room in a hotel. And it was the type of hotel. Did you ever be in a hotel where they put curtains down the side of the walls?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we're over there, and there's maybe like 40 different recruitment agencies there. And people can be quite competitive and stuff and what they do. But also we know a lot of people. So I was over at the far side talking to guy. You could smoke at the time inside. And I remember talking to this guy and having the smoke and having the laugh. I said, I'm going to head back over again. And we're leaning against the wall. And we walked over to the other side of the thing where our table was. And there was a guy called James. I said, James, anyway, I was leaning against the wall. There was no wall there. It was just a fucking curtain, right? No, it's worse. It's worse. And what they'd done is they'd separated the part of the hall off, right? So because they didn't have enough chairs. But as I fell back, I grabbed the curtain, and the curtain came off as I fell back, right? And I remember it's like something that like Laurel and Hardy or Charlie Chaplin, that the curtain fell down and I fell down with it, but it was like a parachute, right? So I stood up and was trying to do this fucking parachute. And I managed it at the end of it. Like at the end of it, everything had stopped and everybody was kind of, and it was like real quiet, right? And then they all started pissing themselves laughing. I was like, fuck, right? And then the other thing was as well, my crutches were still in there. So I went back in and kept my crutches. Right? I remember just standing there going, there's no way back from this. So I just left, and I lost my coat and everything. I had an overcoat, and I just left it. I just went, just go. I just left it. And the next day, they all remembered.
I'm sure they did.
But, you know, it's one of them things.
You don't like curtains?
No.
Oh, man. See the fall as well, just that moment. It's like, remember Del Boy at the bar?
That's right, I was going to say.
Real slow motion thing. Just as, and then when I heard the pop, pop, pop of the curtain, it makes me fuck. Yeah, that's probably the most embarrassing.
Very good.
Well, Max, we said a couple of things earlier about the 60-year-old Max. We, as Christopher and I, both wish you all the best.
Thank you very much.
I do hope that you're rocking at 65 and 70 and your health is fantastic. We'll be rooting for you.
Thank you very much,
and
man. Pleasure.
Thanks for coming, mate. Really appreciate
cheers.
it.
Thank you very much.
Okay, well, with that, I'm Chris.
I'm Henry.
And this is the Business Hustle. Thanks so much for listening this far. It's been an extra long one, but I think it was a very interesting story. Thanks so much, Mike.
Thank you.
All the best.
Cheers.